Losers Club has officially begun.
We can do this, but we have to stick together.
Hello. For 27 years, I dreamt of you. I craved you. I missed you.
Homer, stop acting like a clown and take that makeup off.
Why? Most of these reviewers now these days always wear some costumes and make big sketches that takes too much of the review's time.
Because we're broke and only have enough money for this background pop and these chairs and the table. Yep, that's the YouTube algorithm for you. So get yourself cleaned up and get back here while me and SpongeBob talk about the film's background.
Fine. This is what I get for dressing up like a clown.
It is a 1986 horror novel by American author Stephen King. It was his 22nd book and his 18th novel written under his own name. The story follows the experience of 7 children as they are terrorized by an evil entity that exploits the fears and phobias of its victims to disguise itself while hunting its prey. While the book has a mixed reception from critics, most notably because of a scene with the Losers Club finding a way to lose their innocent manner, it still has its positive talks, from talking about Pennywise being one of the most scariest clowns in film or pop culture. Personally, I think the Joker is a scarier clown than Pennywise. The novel won the British Fantasy Awards in 1987 and received nominations from the Lucas and Fantasy Awards that year as well. Now, given Stephen King's huge amount of work, it shouldn't be a surprise that it would be adapted outside the book world. Hell, outside of The Shining and The Children of Corn, it could have the most adaptations out of King's work.
You guys still talking about the backstory from the novel? Good, because here is where I know of its TV work.
Of course, he would be back just in time for the TV stuff.
Just 4 years later, a TV miniseries based on the novel was made, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace and adapted by Wallace D. Colvin. It's well known for having Tim Curry as Pennywise.
And we know where that leads into now these days.
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
While that TV miniseries may be great and all, most of you are unaware that there's an IT TV series.
Really?
You mean like a show is in development? Nope, this is way after the miniseries, but before these recent films. In 1998, an India TV series called Wong was made. It was a loose adaptation of the novel, where Pennywise wasn't an ancient caustic evil that awakens every 27 years, but a vengeful ghost that awakens every 15 years, between both the 1980s and the modern day India, as opposed to the books, 1950s and the modern day America in the original novel.
Boy, and people thought Netflix was bad with changes of anime.
Well, with that big of an impact, a feature-length movie would be bound to happen in the future.
Eventually in 2009, Warner Brothers announced they would be working on an It movie.
Well, after some issues with directing changes and letting New Line Cinema doing the production after the merger with Warner Brothers back in 2008, the film was originally released on September 8, 2017. Before that, most horror films were seen as cheap and crap.
Mainly because of Blumhouse ruling the cheap horror market and remakes were all over the place.
But It, or It Chapter 2 as people say it now, broke multiple box office records and grossed over $70 million in the box office worldwide. It also has been considered the highest grossing horror film of all time, received positive reviews with critics praising the performance, direction, cinematography, and musical score, with many of them calling this one the best of Stephen King's adaptations. In addition, the film was named as one of the best films in 2017 by various critics.
But since the film leaves it open for a sequel, given that there's still another half of the story to do, Warner Brothers and New Line Cinema would be crazy to not make a sequel.
So just 2 years later, It Chapter 2 is released. The film's plot takes place 27 years later after the Losers Club defeated Pennywise. Now all grown up, the childhood friends have long since gone their separate ways. But when people start disappearing, Mike Harrington calls the others home for one last stand. Damaged by the scars of the past, the united losers must conquer their deepest fears to destroy the shape-shifting Pennywise, now more powerful than ever. Hey, folks! Oh, great. Something that's even scarier than Pennywise and Joker combined. And he doesn't even have to do anything to be scary.
Guys! Hey, Krusty! What brings you here?
I heard clowns being mentioned. I thought you were talking about me.
Yeah, no, we're not Bart or Lisa.
You would say that.
Well, we were talking about Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Oh, that guy? God, out of all the clowns I met, he's the worst. He uses Prince Albert and the Cans jokes. That's just a dead comedy. And that's saying a lot given what I have done.
At least you admit that one, Clown. So you're gonna head off now to do your show that's only notable because of Itchy and Scratchy?
Actually, Krusty, since you're a clown, maybe you could tell Pennywise how to act more like a clown to be like you or the Joker.
Maybe I could. And maybe you could help out, Homer, since you did try to act like me.
Yeah.
But I will do it after you three are done with your review thing for it. You better hurry up. I got a collection of props to sort.
I will text you, Krusty.
Are we done here?
Yep.
Okay, so how we're going to do this is that we're going to split this into 3 parts. The positive, the meh, and the negative. I will do the positive. I will do the meh.
And I will do the negative.
Once we get into that, we will give our final thoughts on the movie. And since we got Krusty here, let him and Homer do their thing afterwards.
Hell yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Sure am.
Alright, here we go. So given how well Chapter 1 did, there was a lot of hope for Chapter 2 to do the same matchup level of horror and character development the first film did. And while the casting and acting is top-notch and works for the film, the horror element may have lost a small bit in this one.
And its one time surely doesn't help this.
Let's start off with the positive. The cast keep their A game into this film. Since we are mainly focusing on the adult side of the book, it makes sense to keep the look of the younger cast with the adult cast, and boy, do they surely make a great casting choices with the film, especially with James Ramson as Eddie Campbell, since he surely has the great look of Jack Delaney Glazer. Also, is it me, or do you guys think that the adult Eddie looks like he's been played by Steve Carell?
He does kind of have a Steve Carell style face and sometimes even screams.
Better than having a Gru look. While the casting choices are good, the performances from the cast is still as good. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is still as amazing as he did for the first film. Also, as weird as this sounds, but I'm glad to see some bloody kills that has kids in it. Most horror films tend to leave kids alone from getting this murder, but this does not mess around with that. However, the scares from the film has kinda went down in comparison to the first film. There are some decent scares in here, but some are either so clearly coming that you're just waiting for it, or ruined before of trying to get the comedy in there. Not saying mixing horror and comedy can't work, but the way the film just does it just kind of feels out of place. Now, there is points when the comedy, without the horror element around it, does work, thanks to some of the performances. Also, after a while, there is a point where all the characters do have to look for something of their childhood, and it takes a lot of the second act.
And the one time doesn't help. Now, given that the book took 6 hours to read, I can understand that the filmmakers didn't want to make a chapter 3, but given that the first part was already close to 2 hours, the fact that the film is so close to being 3 hours long So by the 2-hour mark, most of the scares and thrills of the movie have left, and all you got left is an impatient feeling and just wanting Pennywise to get killed and never bother coming back until 20 years when another reboot happens. Also, I know this mainly happens in the first chapter, but some of the facial expressions Pennywise makes just kinda kills some of the tension in the film. And yes, jump scares are bad, enough said.
Also, Warner Brothers sure loves putting their own studios in their films as well.
At least they like to put themselves in the fictional world.
So anyways, while the one time can be long viewing and jump scares invading this place more than Pennywise,
Some of the scares are good and the comedy does work, but having the two mixed in one in this case doesn't really work out too well, and the second act could be improved and cut to a shorter length.
But the kills we get from this movie is gory and willing to do with the kids. Also, the cast puts their A-game into this and made it work having both the old and the adults actors together to show these characters have grown up.
So we rate the movie 3 out of 5.
Adrian.
Alright, you three done with your review thing?
yes, give me a second and I will join you in the end.
So, what we plan to review next?
Beats me. I'm sure we'll figure something out.
But we do want to thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it.
If you enjoyed this video, please like the video, subscribe, and put on the notification bell. We'll see you guys later. And now, to Homer and Krusty. The most important part about being a clown is to getting a good pie in the face. I mean, just take a look at me doing it to my former sidekick, Sideshow Bob.
But if pies doesn't work, maybe some mindless violence will do, especially if a cannon's involved.
If somehow those two don't work, this one never fails. A loop-de-loop on a tiny bicycle. People can't seem to get enough of those.
Even the mafia loves it. Just try not to get in trouble with them. Even a supernatural creature can't handle them.
So we hope this can help you out, Pennywise. You better be happy we didn't make you pay for this like Homer did for Clown College.
Those were not cheap.
Is that it now? Can I go now? I got some time to get some get my next gig up.
We know you're just going to use it for the sex hotline, Krusty.
I'm saying that to the kids watching this video, you moron. You know there is some out there from the comments from the projects.
I know. I just can't say that due to contract reasons with the series and Lorcan. But with the copper being a thing, I guess we don't have to worry about these kids being here again.
Anyway, I'm off. See you guys later.
Heh. See Sonic and SpongeBob? That worked out well.
Huh? Oh, right. Yeah, whatever, Homer. We're just picking out the next movie to review. Maybe we should try something easier to review that doesn't take months to do this after issues with this video.
I'm sure we'll pick something easier next time. Well, hopefully.